Hello ladies and gents. So, the review embargo for the Batman has now lifted. So I thought what we'd do, there was one review which dropped way too early. And I don't know how they managed to get through it, but whatever. They managed to lift the embargo, that's fine. And then, and now we've just got some sort of snippets over on Twitter, sort of headline reviews, not in depth. And I thought what we would do is go through some of these. Also go through the review which dropped quite early as well, just because it was actually quite short. It's one of the first ones I compiled. I thought we'd just take a look at it, because I did the first reactions. They were overwhelmingly positive. Now, some of the deeper reviews are coming out saying, fantastic story, underwhelming mystery, was actually one of the headlines from the Radio Times. Terrific mood piece, an underwhelming mystery. So, it's not resoundingly... It's not 10 out of 10 across the board, which is actually what it should be. There should be some issues with any film. There always are. That's to be objective. And I'm personally really looking forward to this film. I think it's going to be fantastic. I'm going to watch it Thursday. My review will be out on Thursday. I've managed to secure IMAX preview screening ticket. So let's take a look. And we'll just see whether this, looks like it's going to live up to the hype, I guess. I hope you're well. If you're new here, do hit subscribe. Do give the video a like, and returning subscribers, just check you're subscribed. And also, do you like the new area? If you've not been here for the past week. Got a new space. What do you think? Let's have a look, shall we? So like I said, this is just the headline. Look, a terrific mood piece, an underwhelming mystery. We'll get into this in a moment. But this was the brief, quick review that I spotted earlier. It says 2 hours ago. This was like a long time ago. It wasn't 2 hours ago. So, we'll just spot pick, right? So, somewhere between film noir and the realism director Christopher Nolan presented in his Dark Knight trilogy, Matt Reeves finds a cinematic home for the latest iteration of the Batman. That's not bad. That's not a bad comparison, Somewhere between film noir and realism. That's actually realistically kind of what I was hoping for. I wanted it to be a noir, deep, dark mystery, thriller, ooh, a bit of horror, ooh, that's what I wanted. So that's to me, that's singing to what I wanted anyway. Now they also note that no one can be blamed for thinking there was nothing left to explore with the character. I personally think the best iteration of the Batman is Batman the animated series. Nothing has ever come close to it. It's the best version of Batman. So there's always more to explore unless you nail that. So Reeves had his choice to play Bruce Wayne Batman. Robert Pattinson proved that assumptions were wrong, and there's plenty left to mine with respect to character, story, and themes. So, Robert Pattinson's unconventional choice for the Batman. Now, they say that he's an unconventional choice. He, however, does add layers to Batman and his alter ego. Good. Nice. I'm looking forward to seeing a Batman that actually isn't as clear-cut, I'm Batman and Bruce Wayne. Two different versions of himself. I'm looking forward to seeing a character that's actually two completely different. Where it sort of blends into one. He hasn't quite nailed down that alter ego. I think that's going to be quite interesting, personally. Now, it does say, this article does say, at one point in the movie, Selina Kyle Catwoman asks, are you just hideously scarred? Of course, in some regard, given Bruce Wayne's backstory involving the death of his parents, he most definitely is. However, it goes beyond that as this Batman. In Year 2 and his crusade against crime, he's also haunted and tormented and still trying to find his way in this crusade he's entered. I like that. That sounds really good. Genuinely, really good. The circumstances in the film have him teetering on the edge of darkness. Cool. Something only hinted at in other films. Good. So something different. I like that. The portrayal, completely captivating, gives the audience a look at a man at war with the dark forces around him along with himself. Given the character's duality, it allows the audience to peer with some depth into the identity crisis he's undergoing. Love it. Now, apparently Matt Reeves weaves a complex narrative. So as for the story, Reeves weaves a complex narrative that forces the audience to pay attention and helps his cause when, by the time Kyle appears, that attention shakes a bit. So it does kind of sound like Selina Kyle's not actually there from the off. It does turn up sort of midway through or something like that. That sounds great. The fact that the film takes place so early in the Dark Knight's crime-fighting career certainly adds to the story, which was co-written by Reeves and Peter Craig, who did Bad Boys for Life and Top Gun Maverick. Because we're presented with a superhero mostly bereft of tech, he's also perfectly capable of making mistakes as he partners with Gotham City Police Jim Gordon. and a de facto basis to get to the bottom of who's killing members of Gotham's elite class. From the mayor to the police commissioner, that mastermind known as the Riddler grinds his personal axe with demented and tragic glee. Now, they really sung Paul Dano's praises here. So the Riddler's personal campaign to exact revenge on those Gotham, on Gotham delves into a socio-political realm that Nolan hinted at in The Dark Knight. But Reeves goes much deeper into the topic, while another member of Batman's gallery of rogues, the Joker, prefers anarchy for anarchy's sake. And that's not saying he's in this, that's just saying a comparison, because the Riddler is all about vengeance, and in his mind speaks for the city's forgotten. Love it. Think that sounds awesome. Really, really like it. Dano's mesmerizing performance is one of several. There are almost too many good ones to basically say. Dano's turn alternates between pathos, malevolence, and tragedy. Joining him in a memorable effort is Wright, whose Gordon is the epitome of cool intensity, and more of him next time, please. Loads of people, basically really, really good. They do say, though, that it could use a trim on its runtime. Maybe. Sometimes it can, sometimes not. So let's have a look. Let's just now have a look at the headlines of these other reviews. So the Batman review, a terrific mood piece, an underwhelming mystery. And of course, there's more. Scott Menzel says the Batman is unlike any other Batman film before it. The plot is grounded in reality, even more so than Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy, which actually corresponds. And this is why I did that one, which released early, because it actually corresponds to that. And then I can do the spot pick headlines to see which ones are talking shit or ones which are talking the truth. The Batman is more of a detective story rather than a superhero film. The cast is very good, with Colin Farrell and Paul Dano being the film's MVPs, which is kind of what I was expecting, personally. Eric Davies says, I've seen The Batman, and it is a ferocious detective drama punctuated by moments of incredibly visceral action. Matt Reeves' direction is dark, deep, intense, and flooded with instantly iconic imagery, which you could tell from the trailer. You actually could. Matt Reeves makes cinematic films. He always does. A live-action Batman movie, unlike any we've seen. Brilliant and badass. Big recommend. So, cool. Love it. Sounds fine. Good. Wow, The Batman is the best crafted Batman film of all time. Robert Pattinson is perfect for the role, and Matt Reeves' direction shines. With all departments firing on all cylinders, a masterful technical achievement that becomes one of the greatest comic book movies of all time. We'll see. I mean, Dredd, 2012 is actually one of the greatest comic book movies of all time, but yeah, we'll see. I mean, yeah, I'm really looking forward to this film, but even I think that's maybe going a step above what I am expecting the film to be. Edward Bishop, without spoilers, says this movie deserves an Oscar nomination in technical aspects. It's crazy how visually good each scene looks, and the soundtrack is wonderful. This is the best Matt Reeves movie, and you can see the love he has for the character. Love it. Sounds fantastico. Rolling Stone says the Batman gives you a moodier, more enraged and slightly darker night than usual in Robert Pattinson, and returns the character to his pulpy roots. Okay, cool. Umberto Gonzalez says Matt Reeves' The Batman finally gives us the most comic accurate portrayal of the Dark Knight detective in film, which is, him being a detective was kind of what Matt Reeves was saying. We've never really had that. We just haven't. The movie to me is an homage to the great Batman writers like Denny O'Neil, Frank Miller, and Jeff Loeb. Pattinson did the homework and delivered. Good. Sounds fantastic. Again, take it all with a pinch of salt, of course. My review will be open, honest, and will be out on Thursday. Brandon Davis says, The Batman is a visceral, good movie. Matt Reeves mashes several Batman stories into a raw, real take for an epic detective noir, an impressive, lengthy, so corresponding to that other review I said where they could trim the fat off. Cinematic journey, brilliant visuals, repetitive, revolving door of locations, tremendous music. Good. Awesome. Love it. Sounds cool. The Batman starts out intensely, letting you know it's pushing as close to an R rating that it can while maintaining a PG-13. Matt Reeves sets the tone early to say this one is going to be gritty, intense, and sometimes scary with true horror elements injected, which is cool. The Batman will go down as one of the best comic book films in a long time. The script, performances, set pieces, and visual storytelling was phenomenal. Robert Pattinson shines as an emotional, brooding Batman next to Paul Dano's terrifying Riddler. Matt Reeves' modern masterpiece. Cool. You've nothing to worry about. The Batman is gripping, a haunting detective thriller that'll have you on the edge of your seat, enthralling in the tension, characters, and action sequences. It's one of the comic book movie's best and shows why Matt Reeves is one of the best working today. And Matt Reeves is really, really good. He is a fantastic director. Discussing film says it's an unmissable spectacle that manages to surpass all expectations and give us an iconic new Dark Knight. And last but not least, we'll just round out here. The Batman is the best Batman movie ever. Matt Reeves' LA has created an intelligent Dark Knight story. The grounded tone with a dark interior create the most memorable Gotham City ever. Dano is terrifying, Kravitz is mesmerizing, and Pattinson is the Batman. And that was it, really. It's all much the same. Loads of people are like, oh, Oscar, Oscar contenders, blah blah blah. I mean, look, we'll see. Like, I'm really looking forward to this film. I think it's a bit early to say Oscar contender. Like, let's be real. But what do you guys think? Yay or nay? Are you looking forward to it? Let me know down below. Like I said, if you're new here, do hit subscribe. If you like what I do here and you've been sort of enjoying the new space and things like that, please do consider supporting via Patreon. It's literally what goes back into the channel. So you can check that out in the description box, or you can join the channel by becoming a member. There are exclusive benefits, and they are starting to be rolled out again because I took a brief break because I unfortunately had to move house. Anyway, thank you so much. Take care.